After Auburn's loss to Cal, which was not very aesthetically pleasing, especially at the quarterback position, is it time for Auburn to make a change? Now, I have some thoughts on this. We'll talk about it right now. Before we get to that, though, Auburn fans, make sure you are subscribed right here to the On3 YouTube channel. Talking a lot about your Tigers. Some big games on the horizon now. Talking a lot about the greatest sport on the face of planet Earth, which is, of course, college football. So let's get down to this question, because right after the game ended, Twitter's blowing up, talking to people the next day, and everyone's got a take on this. Is it time for Auburn to make a pivot from Payton Thorne? Let's unpack his game a little bit, because there was the 4 interceptions, right? Anytime you see the 4 in the INT column, you're like, what went wrong? What is going on? I'm not here to make excuses. I'm here to add context to those interceptions. 1, tipped pass off his receiver's hands, ball's up in the air, tips or picks. Okay, it is what it is. The other one, you're having trouble protecting Payton Thorne, gets hit as he throws, impacts the throw, ball's floated in the air, interception. Okay. 2 bad plays. 2 plays where your quarterback's not helping you now. You put it on the body. Maybe it's not an interception on the tip pass. You're able to create some space for yourself, and maybe it's not a play where the rush impacts your throw as much. Still, just some context here. I'm not telling you it's not his fault. I'm just telling you there's some context there. The other one, I guess the 3rd interception it was, Cam Coleman's hurt. I don't think Payton Thorne realizes that during the play. Throws to Cam Coleman. Cam Coleman's not able to challenge for the ball like he typically would. That's the throw, honestly, that I would probably put on Payton Thorne as much as any other interception that he had. And then the 4th interception, miscommunication. It's on the quarterback. It's on the receiver. Payton Thorne is expecting Keandre Lambert-Smith to run a post route to kind of bend it. He keeps it upfield. DB just steps in front of it. Ball game. So again, the box score did not look pretty. Payton Thorne did not have his best day. Is it time for a change? I think if you're going to bench Payton Thorne after week 2, after a bad showing against Cal, I think you should have gone to the transfer portal. Like, if that's genuinely as short a leash as you were going to give my guy, if all it takes is 2 games, 1 bad game, and you're like, hey, we've seen enough, not the right guy, I would have an issue with that. I need to see a little bit more follow-through. Because Hugh Freeze and this Auburn staff did not go to the portal to get a quarterback, meaning they had reasons, they had confidence to start Payton Thorne. They had this understanding, this perception of who they had at quarterback in the offseason, things they had, I would imagine, tangibly seen from a leadership perspective, from an 11-on-11 perspective. They believed he was their guy. So I don't know that 1 bad data point for me would be enough to say, hey, make the switch going into New Mexico. To me, that would feel just a little bit knee-jerky. I'd want to see some follow-through. So while I don't think they should just bench Payton Thorne before this game against New Mexico, I do think now there is wisdom in having backup plans. You know, I mean, like every great cruise ship has life rafts. You don't expect the ship to go down, but like it would be ill-advised to go out to sea and have no other way of getting your passengers to safety if something were to happen to the ship. Now, right now, after that Cal game, you feel like you're probably taking on some water, is all I would say. So here is, I'm not a coach, I'm not an offensive coordinator, I'm not a scout. Here would be my approach if I'm trying to figure out what to do at the quarterback position. I give Payton Thorne New Mexico, right? Unless something catastrophic happens, unless we hit an iceberg, which happened last year with New Mexico State, we're rolling with Payton Thorne, okay? The Arkansas game is a gotta-have-it game. Gotta have it. Give him the first half of the Arkansas game, reassess from there. If he's got 2 picks in the first half against Arkansas, at that point you can kind of say, all right, hey, this is kind of a trend we're seeing. Maybe we need to have a different discussion around Hank Brown. And to be clear, this is not a Hank Brown take. This is just an overall for-year football team opinion. The reason why I feel that way about the New Mexico than the Arkansas game is after Arkansas, you got Oklahoma. And by the time you play Oklahoma, you're moving out of September into October, and then you got Georgia. Like at that point, it's like, hey, we got to kind of have a direction here for Auburn. Because even though it's only year 2, there's still a lot of momentum on the recruiting trail, and it feels like on this roster at Auburn, they are far too talented to not maximize their offensive skill. Like all the things I just said about the Cal game and the interceptions that I think have some shared blame across the board there for Auburn's offense, though a fair amount of it has to fall on the quarterback who threw the football. Cam Coleman, I know he was dinged up. He has to have more than 2 catches. Has to. He's way too talented. If you're not going to have one of your best players impact the football game because of what you have at quarterback, we got problems. All right, Lambert-Smith. I know he caught a touchdown, but again, 2 catches. I need more. I need him to see the football more. Rivaldo Fairweather has to have a larger role in the game. And some of this you give credit to Cal and say, hey, they played a good game, played great defense, got after us up front, gave Payton Thorne issues. Like, it is what it is. In some ways, you just tip your hat to Cal, an experienced football team. Some people now are going to tell me, hey, JD, like, I get it, man. You went to bat for Payton Thorne during the offseason. You're going down with your take. Like, come on. Like, let's not be soft about this. It's time for a switch. To those people, I would say, like, this isn't quite as simple as college football 25, where you just go to the settings and move the depth chart around and say, okay, now we got a new quarterback. Okay, bam, plug and play. It's not that simple. Like, there are repercussions when you change the most visible leader on your football team. A guy who, again, has been the leader of your football team throughout the course of this entire offseason. Like, this is a guy that you have been following throughout the course of this entire 2024 team's existence. Like, if you switch the quarterback, understand now, I'm not telling you there would be negative ripple effects, but it does open yourself up a little bit to, some fragmentation within your locker room. Now, that's not me telling you that would be Auburn's reality, but I am saying whenever you switch the quarterback, there's a lot of opinions, both externally, but especially internally. You open yourself up to the opportunity of people saying, man, why'd they bench Payton? Man, that was way too soon. Why'd they yank him, man? Are we sure that was the right move? We're questioning the coaching staff. There's another camp that's saying, man, about time we made that pivot. Man, that's best for our. So you see what I'm saying here? The trains of thought within your locker room not being aligned, like that could be a problem. That could be a problem that could keep you from playing your best football. I'm not telling you that that's my opinion of what would happen, but I am saying the possibility of that in itself means you have to be 1,010% sure that when you make this move at quarterback, if you are going to pivot away from Payton Thorne, whenever that time happens, you better be without a shadow of a doubt when it comes to who you're putting up there. All right? And again, this is not my opinion on Hank Brown. I think Hank Brown's going to have a great career at Auburn. I think he's going to have a lot of success when it is his time. But again, right now, Payton Thorne, with the issues they have up front, with the way that you felt about him going into the season, one bad data point, one bad game to me, and I understand there's some other things last year that you point to, but like you felt good enough now to not go to the portal. Don't just dismiss all those things that you saw during the offseason that made you feel good about going with him with this offense. Last thing I'll say, Payton Thorne's mobility, because there's a lot that was said about what the offensive line didn't do against Cal. I know they're dinged up. I believe they'll start to trend upward over the course of, the next few weeks, you would hope. But like Payton Thorne, his mobility is a very, very key factor in terms of what he's able to do and able to maybe bail you out of some situations where you don't have everything blocked up how you would need. Really good athlete, proved that last year. So again, too soon for me to just throw in the towel on Payton Thorne. But I think it would be wise to have a plan, have some life rafts in place, and have a decision that you're going to make with a lot of clarity. Not good to be knee-jerky in anything in life. Make sure you're subscribed. Let me know your thoughts on the Auburn quarterback situation. I know there's a lot of emotions right now. I know it was week 2. I know it was a bad loss. But, give me your thoughts as the dust has settled a little bit on week 2 as it pertains to the Tigers and their QB room. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Going to keep this party rolling. We will see y'all next time. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.